I was gonna say, what's the video gonna be of?
It's it's technically an INSTALCAST, I guess. It's Animes Anonymous.
Yeah, it's our podcast.
Yes, basically.
Episode 1 was about Halo 2, and this one's about anime, so we're still trying to figure out a theme. We're going to workshop it in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. What else do the YouTubers say?
And I'll fucking kill you.
Ring the bell. That's the new phrase.
Anyway, hello and welcome.
Ring that bell if you swell. We'll work on that too. We'll workshop that in the next comments.
Hello and welcome to this little thing that I'm calling Animes Anonymous. It's part of our podcasty idea that we had because of Halo. Anyway, the goal...
Not even a podcast, because we're going to stop doing this after this one.
What? No.
Okay.
I figured we would... I figured we'd see how this goes.
Alright, our once every 6 months podcast.
I mean, there's a spring, summer, winter, and fall anime season.
Oh, I thought there were only 2.
I'm not.
That's what I know.
I'm not 100% sure on that. Anyway, I have watched one episode each of all of the fall anime season for 2020, with a few caveats, like I'm not watching any of the ones that are like 3-minute long, and I'm not watching any sequels. Asterisk. But the general idea is M is not what one would consider an anime fan.
I'm not an anime watcher. Like, I wouldn't say I'm not an anime fan, because that makes me sound like I dislike it. I just never watch it.
Okay, that's fair. I am an anime watcher. So I had the fun idea of I will watch one episode of each of this season's anime, and then present it to M as unbiased as possible, and then M has to figure out if I actually liked it or not.
Yeah, Zodi does all the hard work. I just wait until she's ready,
Yes.
and then get in a call.
So our first one is one of the darlings of this season, Jujutsu Kaisen.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yes.
Okay.
It is the story of Yuji, a powerful youth who ends up embroiled in the supernatural due...
And is really good at card games.
No. He gets embroiled in the supernatural because... For a
His
variety.
grandpa got kidnapped.
He does have a grandpa. His grandpa dies, though, in the first episode. His grandpa was a huge grumpus who basically chased everyone away, and his grandpa was like, my dying wish is I want you to save as many people as you can, just like in general, like, and also die surrounded by people who care about you.
Okay.
And Itadori is a typical shonen protagonist where he is super, like, cool and strong, but also kind of a nerd that no one likes. Like,
Believe it!
I want you to keep that in mind, what you just said. And he's part of the occult club at school, which only has 2 other members. And he technically doesn't go to club all the time. So he's a ghost member, but tish, they make a joke about this. It's actually really good. While the general school antics are happening, another guy, whose name I forget, is going to find this secret spiritual object nearby the school, and it was like, oh, it's gone, that's not good. And oh no, it turns out that the occult club has it, and this other guy who is, spoilers, a jujutsu sorcerer, which basically means that they just like exorcise demons and shit. They call them curses specifically. It's a thing. Turns out that Yuji just had the box containing the cursed artifact. He gave the actual artifact over to the occult club, which turns out to be a wrapped up, mummified finger. And because of the age of it, the seal has just started to break, and it started attracting curses to the school, which are these horrifying monsters. And a long story short, after a intense fight where the sorcerer guy almost gets his ass kicked, Yuji goes to help. But curses the only thing that hurts a curse is a curse, and he doesn't have a curse necessarily. But the artifact is full of curse. So Itadori decides, I'm gonna eat this. So he eats it. He gets possessed by Ryoma Sukuna, this horrifying demon creature, who, with this power, he destroys the evil spirit, and then Ryoma is like, well, now I have a physical body, I'm gonna fucking destroy everything. But then Itadori is like, no, this is my body, stop. And he goes back to normal, quote unquote. It ends before there, but bit of a spoiler on this, I have read the manga for this, like, incidentally before it became an anime, so I know where it goes from there. So yeah.
That's the episode?
That's the first episode of Jujutsu Kaisen.
Alright, how long are these episodes? Because I was expecting you to wrap up, like, halfway through.
These episodes are the average TV show length, so like
22 minutes?
Yeah, give or take.
Okay. Well, I can tell you liked it. Did I guess right?
No, I fucking hate Jujutsu Kaisen. It sucks.
Wow.
It's boring. I fucking hate it. I get if you like it. I do. I totally get it. I hate Jujutsu Kaisen. It's fucking boring.
That's too bad. It sounds like a cool premise.
It's a cool premise. They do nothing with it. I'll admit, this is a good first episode, and the anime made it come off a lot better.
Okay, well, hang on. This isn't fair, then. If you're coming into it with, like, your biases about what the manga did, and we're supposed to be telling whether you liked the first episode of the anime.
Okay, I was going to say, I am going to do this as well. I'm going to give my actual opinion on the episode, and whether I think it's a good first episode or not. Jujutsu Kaisen is the one example out of all of these where I am spoiled on it, so it's a little tainted. It's a little weird. We're getting used to doing this sort of thing.
Alright, so I was right. You did like the first episode.
I did like the first episode. I will say that. It was a good first episode. I just don't like Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay. Well, it's a good thing that one's out of the way then.
Yes. Next up is another one that is a little... There is some difficulty. There are some oddities with this one. It is Higarashi When They Cry, the most recent version of this series, of this story, because it has had a previous anime.
Yes. Before we start, actually, I could talk about this. Is one of my best friends in high school. Higarashi is his favorite anime ever.
Oh shit! Does that mean you know
so
about it?
I know a little bit about it. I don't know much about it, but I know there's like a witch on an island who's doing a mystery, and they have to figure out what happened.
That is the sequel Umineko, and the anime for Umineko is bad, but the story is good.
Okay.
Higarashi When They Cry takes place in 1983 in a sleepy Japanese village.
Wait, hang on. When did the Prince song "When Doves Cry" come out?
I don't actually know.
I'm looking that up now because I have ADHD.
Okay. Yeah, our protagonist is Keiichi.
1984. So this is the prequel to... This is what inspired the Prince song.
Maybe. Our protagonist is Keiichi, a young boy who... It's complicated. He recently moved to town, but then he had to leave for like a weekend to attend a funeral. It's not super made clear. And everything is very nice and cute, and there's some good school antics as, like, he wakes up and goes to school with this girl that he likes, Rena. Yes, Rena. It's Rena. There's a lot of names for this one, and I'm kind of juggling it around. And anyway, it is a cute school anime where he goes to school and, like, oh no, they set up an eraser up on top of the door, so if I open the door, it'll fall on me. But that's actually a trick, because that's the bait. The real prank is the thumbtacks taped on the inside of the door handle. So he takes those off, and he opens the door, and he walks in all confident, like, I've defeated your trickery, and then he trips on a tripwire that they put there, and he lands almost face first on an inkstone, which would have probably broken his fucking nose.
So it's like a funnier version of all that crap Light did with his door.
Sort of. But also, after some fun school antics and having lunch and just hanging out and having fun, Rena takes Keiichi to the junkyard. The local junkyard, because there's a local junkyard. Because they want to... And this is 100% serious. She saw one of those KFC Colonel Sanders statues. Is like, I want to save him. He's cute. I want him. So they go to do this, and like, Keiichi, who is still new to the area, is like, why is this is it? This is a very large junkyard. Why is it all like here and stuff, just like out of nowhere? And it's hard to explain because it just kind of happens. It feels very slice of lifey, but at the same time, if you know anything about Higarashi, you know that it's building up to something, and we don't see it, but basically everything that happens is completely mundane, except for like a couple instances of the characters being like, don't ask about that, small town secrets, and they get really intense about it. Because there was a dam project that no one wanted, and it got into protests and a little murdery. So yeah,
Okay.
it's basically a mystery, a murder mystery. Because, spoilers, nothing actually bad happens in the first episode, but a lot of these cute anime girls are going to get fucking brutalized.
You see. Hmm. Well, when I don't like an anime, I stop paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not like that, so I can't really rely. Because I was thinking, well, if she didn't like this, she wouldn't remember all these details. But that is not true about you. I think you didn't like it.
Okay. I will... My personal tastes... I think this was a pretty decent opening for what this is. But also, I'm going into this as a fan of this creator's specific writing style, so it kind of, like, gels with me.
So it's kind of like based on what you're expecting the rest of the anime to be like, which I suppose is a fair... I mean, that's the point of a first episode, is to make you be like, huh, I wonder where this is going.
Yes. Also, technically, I should not have done this, because this is actually a sequel.
That's true.
No, like, I mean... Higarashi as a story came before Umineko, but I mean, like, this specific instance of the anime, and this is not something that is actually telegraphed to you in the first episode, is not actually Higarashi the anime. This is Higarashi, a sequel to the story Higarashi.
A direct sequel.
Yes, but it's... Okay.
After a period of time.
Okay, do you know what time loops are?
Oh God, is this what that is? Is this the one where they had like the eight pages that were the same?
That's Haruhi. That has nothing to do with Higarashi. But what I mean is that it is very...
I'm not racist.
It is very complicated. I do not have time to explain to you how this is technically a remake, but also a sequel at the same time. Look, this series, the first story of this series that I read was Umineko, and that one is 7 entire novels worth of dialogue. So a lot happens. It's too much to explain.
Sure.
Next up is Tonykawa, Over the Moon for You. This is a very interesting series. It is a romance. It looks very cute. It opens with our protagonist lying in a pool of his own blood, dying in the cold. A woman comes to comfort him, saying that this sort of injury isn't enough to kill someone, and he has to continue living.
That's a weird way to talk to a person.
Yes. The narration, which is the currently dying protagonist, says that this thing that this lady said to him is the first thing that his wife ever said to him.
That's a weird way to introduce yourself to a person.
Yes. After the opening, like, animation and song and stuff, we get some background information. We learn that our protagonist is named Nasa, with the kanji meaning for starry sky. because his parents loved space and they wanted him to be as big as the universe. I'm not kidding.
Uh-huh.
In narration...
Wait, so they wanted him to be as big as the universe.
Yes.
Like, I get that metaphorically, but when you say they're not kidding, do you mean that they meant that literally?
No,
like they wanted to be Gurren Lagann?
No, I mean I am not kidding. His name is NASA, as in the space people.
Okay, but these parents didn't have a kid and be like, this guy's gonna be like, he's gonna eat so much.
No, that's not... No!
We're gonna have the world's tallest baby.
Anyway. In narration, NASA then says... Basically, NASA opens the story narration by being like, if you ever, like, get together with somebody who you love very much and have kids, I implore you of this one very important fact. Please give them a fucking normal name. God damn it. So, being named NASA ruined his life.
Life ain't easy for a boy named Nassau.
It made everyone bully him. It made everyone made the jokes about space, and he decided, you know what? I'm so fucking tired of this. I'm going to become the absolute best so that no one can compare me to NASA, because I will be better than all of them.
I'm not sure that makes sense, but okay.
It doesn't make sense at all. But
I'm going to be better than NASA?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Yes, he is going to reach the stars before them. It's complicated. It makes sense.
Yeah, okay, moving on,
yes,
moving
on. He is doing good. He's gonna like write up the stuff to get into the perfect high school of his choice. He's walking down the street on a winter day, and he's just like thinking about his future, and he looks over and he sees this red-haired girl, and she is the most beautiful thing he has ever seen in his life, to the point where he just runs into the street, like runs across the road to try and to talk to her, to be like, hello. He gets hit by a truck, but it's revealed that the red-haired girl actually kind of like jumped in the way and shielded him. He still is dying.
And she's going to get a spin-off where she's in a fantasy world.
No, none of them get isekai'd. But
so far, that's episode 2.
Anyway, she is okay but beat up. He's still in really rough shape, and she leaves, and he's like, no, I can't let her leave. I love her. And he gets up, and he's like, truck driver, did you see where she went? And he just instructs him where she went, and he runs after her, literally fountaining blood out of his head. Because right now...
Well, we've all been there.
Right now, his legs are actually broken. He should not be able to walk.
If you really want to,
yeah.
You can walk on broken legs.
Yeah,
come on.
You shouldn't, though. So he gets to her, they have a conversation, he admits that he fell madly in love with her and he would like to, like, hang out with her. And she's like, only if you marry me. And he's like, sure, I'll marry you. And then he passes out, and he wakes up in the hospital, in summer. So he slept through winter.
Mm-hmm.
And spring, I think.
Yeah, that's where the seasons go.
Yeah, and understandably, the damage that he went through stopped him from getting into the actual the actual school that he wanted to get into. For some reason, he just doesn't care. He actually, like, the next year after that, he does do the entrance exam stuff, and he gets in, but he doesn't care, and he just goes to a menial job, lives on his own, and just generally is sad because he missed out on the girl. He lost. And then on his 18th birthday, he gets a knock on the door that night, and
it's a truck, and this is where the isekai comes.
No, he opens the door, and it's the girl. And the girl is, like, hello. And she comes in, and she has all of the paperwork that they need to do to get married. And they fill it out, and they go to the family registry office. They get it done. They're like, oh, congratulations. And they give you a little cactus for, like, getting married. They hold hands, and Nasa has to narrate the internal monologue thought of, holy shit, I get to hold this hand all the time. And then they go home, and they're married now. And this is their romance story. This comedy romance about these two people who got married.
Okay, so that's what the show is about.
Yes.
I was having trouble figuring that out because it was just kind of all over the place for a while there.
Yes. I will say throughout the episode there is some explicit referencing to the story of the bamboo cutter and Kaguya, where the bamboo cutter was a guy who, like, found a princess from the moon and married her, but wanted to marry her, but she had to go back to the moon, and he lost her. And the intent of this story is that this is like the bamboo cutter story, where the bamboo cutter was like, actually, fuck fate. I want to be with my princess.
Interesting.
Okay.
I don't think you liked it, though.
I fucking loved it. It's so cute.
Aww.
I really like this. I'm bad at explaining these things, and I'm going to get better as we go, but, like, I really like this one. It was super cute. It was super wholesome. There was nothing, like, gross and pervy about it. It's about the ultimate wife guy. It was cute. It was...
Well, wait. Based on the premise and the way you were talking about his name, I thought you thought it was dumb.
I thought the initial premise of his name is NASA is dumb as hell, but in universe, it is also considered dumb as hell. Except by the lady. the lady. I didn't write down her name, and I forget it, but he is like, she actually is like, oh, your name is NASA. It's cute. I like it.
Oh, that's cute.
That's the first time.
That's good. I'm glad you liked it.
That's the first time anyone in universe has ever liked his name as well. But yeah, it was cute and good, and I liked it. So next up is Wandering Witch: The Path of Elaine, also known as Majo no Tabi Tabi, because some of these don't have English releases yet. So, Wandering Witch is the story of Elena, who wants to be a witch. The world is full of magic and stuff, and her favorite book is about a witch who went throughout the world and wrote a journal about it, and she wants to be just like her. So Elena goes to magic school and graduates with top honors. She's like the super best. She's the youngest person to ever graduate from this magic academy. And she now needs to find somebody to intern with, and no one fucking wants her because because you know how it is. You leave high school and you need to intern, and they're like, no, you're unexperienced. And it seems like she's going to have absolutely no luck with this. But then she overhears her parents talking about Fran, I didn't write this down, but a strange witch who lives near town, who just arrived recently, who is like, maybe she will do the mentorship. So Elena goes to her, and she accepts her mentorship, only it's the standard, like, I'm making you do chores sort of thing.
Right.
And then a couple months into this, Fran is like, Elena, we are going to have a magical fight. I'm going to teach you some magic. And they fight, and there's no, like, blood or anything, but it's a pretty brutal fight. Fran kicks the fuck out of Elena. And Elena just cries. And it's like, you basically are bullying me. This sucks and I hate it. Why are you doing this? And it turns out that Fran was actually hired by her parents to do this because Elena has been so successful in general that she doesn't know how to fail. So this situation was meant to be like, we are going to put you in a situation where you cannot handle it and you fail and you learn from that. Only Elena was too much of a strong-willed doormat to actually like lash out at all the stupid stuff she had to do chore-wise. And so Fran was like, I don't know what to do other than to beat this child up. So they did that. And then for like a year, and then after that they spend the rest of the year doing some actual training and stuff, and by the end of it, Elena is officially a witch. She is called the Ashen Witch because her hair is like gray, and she goes off on her journey. And the narration says, 2 years into my journey, when I'm 18, is when the story actually starts, because this was just like
this
the order.
Prologue.
Yeah. And that's it. That's episode 1 of Wandering Witch.
Well, my own thoughts are that it's kind of hard to tell if you're going to like a series if the first episode is just an intro to the rest of the series, but not like it doesn't carry on. There's like a big time skip. Like, so independent of what you thought of it, if I watched this, I wouldn't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
I would have no idea if I wanted to see the next one. Premise sounds okay. I would be a little bit tired of it, but I don't know if you would. I think you liked it, but not a lot.
That is spot on. I liked it. I'm not sure how it'll go. It feels like, in my opinion, after watching this, it was like, this feels like a less horrifying and soul-crushing version of Kino's Journey. And I don't have any spoilers for this, but when I said that to somebody who knows the series, they just laughed at me. So, who knows? Maybe Elena has to shoot a man in the head.
Who knows? But, I mean, we've seen this apprentice-type setup a million times.
Well, she's not an apprentice anymore. She's left to go on her journey.
Right, okay.
So it's basically just an episodic... The way that it has been set up, it feels like it's just an episodic story about a cute witch having cute adventures. And, like, that sounds totally nice. Maybe with... And because of the situation with Fran being a mentor who has specifically been hired to teach Elena how to accept failure, makes it feel like there is going to be more depth to this than it may appear at first blush.
Yeah, that's plausible.
Mm-hmm. Hello, just a minor heads up. The recording turned out to be very long, so I'm going to be dividing this into chunks just so that it's more easily digestible. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all. We will see you all next time for the next chunk of Animes Anonymous. Take care.